Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, foolers, shills, desolators, serfs, peasants, vassals, debaters, master debaters. I'm a useful idiot. Today I'd like to talk about the presidential debates, or whatever you want to call them. Because in America, we don't really have presidential debates. Instead, we just have joint appearances whose candidates recite talking points in a clinically controlled environment. So the pundits and the journalists, etc., will be looking for gaps and sound bites, but not any substantial policy debate. One of the reasons for this, one of the main reasons for this, is for the last 25 years, the bipartisan Commission on Presidential Debates, a private corporation, has been run by consummate insiders. The current co-chairs of the Commission on Presidential Debates, one of them is a Bill Clinton White House spokesman, and the other is a former Republican National Committee head. And previous to 25 years ago, the League of Women Voters used to run the debates, so we'd actually have debates. But ever since Ross Perot ran for president and actually got in there, got in the debates, and actually brought up some actual issues and questions, we want to make sure that that never happens again. We get back to our fake two-party paradigm where these guys actually agree behind the scenes. So once again, they show that they are just two cheeks on one ass, and they both stink. And another part of this process is that since we now have the Commission on Presidential Debates, a private corporation, we have corporate funding for our presidential debates. And these companies include Anheuser-Busch, Philip Morris, Prudential, AT&T, and the International Bottled Water Association. And there's very little corporate funding when the League of Women Voters was running, because of course the corporations couldn't get what they wanted out of it. But now that they've set up the Commission on Presidential Debates, there's a lot for the corporations, and they get their agenda catered to in our very presidential debates. And of course now the system is set up so that no third-party candidates will be allowed to upset the apple cart. They will not have any Ron Pauls. They will not have any Gary Johnsons. They will not have any Ralph Naders. And they learned their lesson from Ross Perot. And the other interesting thing about this, of course, we have the usual hotheads out there like Bill O'Reilly and Michelle Malkin complaining about how the presidential debate is catering to the liberal left, and that it's already rigged for Obama. But of course, they're both idiots, and even in spite of the fact that they must know that the presidential debates are rigged in favor of both candidates. And we have proof of that because there's a secret debate agreement between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. And of course, we're not going to find out what's in it despite numerous requests. But we did manage to get a copy of the 2004 debate agreement between George Bush and John Kerry, thanks to opendebates.org. And the secret agreement between George Bush and John Kerry was that both parties agreed, 1, not to request additional debates, 2, not to appear at any other debate, 3, not to accept TV or radio time in a debate format, 4, no direct questions to each other, only rhetorical questions. And 5, questions from the audience would be pre-cleared with the moderator. So here we are, 4 years later. And do you think there's anything that's really changed? Do you think anything has really changed? Do you think Romney and Obama's agreement is much different than that there will not be any more than 3 debates, that they will not have direct questions, only rhetorical ones, although I did hear that they're going to allow a little one-on-one in this debate. And questions from the audience will be pre-cleared with the moderator. Of course, we know that's a given. But there's one thing we do know about the contract between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama for the 2012 so-called presidential debate, and that's that both candidates are given the topics ahead of time. So they know exactly which issues they'll be addressing. There won't really be any gotcha moments. They'll just work on their sound bites and try to avoid gaffes. And that's the best we can hope for. So unlike some of the other political events that have been going on that I painfully watch in order to give my view to my audience. I can't guarantee that I'm going to watch this presidential debate and pass on that information because the whole thing is a sham from the get-go. So for those of you who put any credence into these so-called presidential debates, well, good luck with that. And for the rest of us, we'll just have to keep wading through this cesspool of incessant and empty, meaningless political gestures like our presidential debates. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.